Welcome, everybody. If you're here in Nebraska, you're probably snowed in and you might have children running around in the background. And I totally understand because we got, I'm looking out, I think we have like 10 inches at our house. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, but I am so glad you're joining me. If you already have this new career clarity guide that I just put out. I know I'm like reverse, like trying to show you. And if you don't have it, you can absolutely download it for free and at kellyraythompson.com / career clarity guide. And I have the link in the title of this. So, why did I make this? So, I would say that women come to me, whether they join my group programs or whether they work with me one to one, because of two reasons. One, they want to lead and influence with more confidence. They want to be able to show up and share their message, speak their voice, articulate their ideas, do all the things. Or like I just got off a call right now with someone who is just like, I have no idea what I want to do. I thought this is what I wanted to do. And now that I have the title, I'm like not happy. And so there's just usually two common themes. And while I had a lot of resources for leading with more confidence, I really didn't have a lot of resources for really putting all the career clarity items in one place. And as someone who has changed a lot of jobs over the years, I've accumulated a lot of resources and I've made a lot of really great decisions and I've made a lot of really poor decisions. And so I try to put it in a place where I could maybe have you avoid some of the poor decisions I made and hopefully use some of the better decisions. And so I'll just walk through this. So, Career Clarity Guide, the thing that kind of underpins all of my, especially my career coaching, is, and again, I just got off the phone with someone who articulated this so beautifully. Like, I got the title that I wanted. And now that I'm here, I'm like, is this it? Like, what's all this for? Is this even really what I want to do? I thought it was going to make me happier. And I still feel totally unclear. So I love this quote. And, Brene Brown actually talked about it in a podcast. And she's like, people spend their whole lives climbing the ladder of success, only to find once they reach the top, the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall. And so the conversations that I have with women is that it's like hustle, 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 hustle. I'm an achiever. I'm a go-getter. I did all these things because this is what you're supposed to do to be happy and successful. Only though once they did all those things, they're like, shit, this is not at all what I thought. I've been there where it was like, okay, there's a script. You're going to go to college. You're going to get married, get a master's degree, work at this company, get this title, get this promotion. And then you have all these great benefits and you never have to worry. And they've got a daycare at work and like, it's the best place to work in town and all these things. And then you get there and you're like, oh my gosh, like I was so busy trying to please other people, work for other people, look successful. And I don't even love what I'm doing. Is this even what I want? I haven't even stopped to check in. So I have this arranged in three parts. If we're talking about climbing the right ladder, it's all about finding the right wall. Let's make sure that our career ladder, before I work with anybody, we got to make sure that we are like putting our ladder against the right building, because I'm not going to be all that helpful to you if if I can help you climb any ladder, but if it's not going to the right place, then we've wasted all of our time. Got to figure out what ladder you want. Maybe you don't need a ladder at all. Maybe it looks totally different for you. I think, we just have like this vision of a career ladder, but it may not be that at all. And then, once you decide what you want to do, what's your next step? Like, how do you actually make next steps? How do you climb it? So through this guide, we're helping you find the right. Very eye-opening because there are lots of questions I asked myself and I have my clients ask themselves, and they're like either super aligned or it kind of gets them thinking about some things that they might need to address. We start with the most unsexiest thing that everybody likes to resist, but in the end, everyone says they love, which is discovering what your values are. Because one of the things I know for sure, if Oprah had to ask me, Kelly, what do you know for sure? I would say it doesn't matter how good that company looks on paper, how good your job looks on paper. If that job or that company is not aligned with your values, no amount of salary or title will ever rectify anything. You will walk through life burn out or rusted out, right? Because you're just bored. and you'll be exhausted, because what you don't realize is that they're crossing your boundaries every single day. But you couldn't really articulate it because until you put your value system, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's no wonder why I'm so unhappy here. My boundaries are crossed every single day. They're acting not in alignment with my value system. They don't make decisions the way I want to make decisions. They don't value the same things I value. So my values are love, respect, family, creativity, and learning. I knew for a fact one of the reasons I was so burnt out at work is because I worked for an organization that didn't value 3 of those for a very long time. So I had to find a place that did, and then I was much happier. There's a place in there to write your career vision. I love this. These are values-based interview questions. I actually have questions in here so that if you are either interviewing your current company or about to go on a job interview somewhere else, these are great questions you can ask to help them reveal the behaviors that they take inside the organization, so you can determine if those behaviors are in alignment with your values. It's not just what they have posted, it's what they actually do. So the ladder is all about finding your unique genius. Again, you should spend time, your role, for 80% of your role should be doing stuff you love. Absolutely stuff you love. And so there's some really awesome questions in here that you can ask yourself and that you can ask other people on what your true zone of genius is so that you can find work that aligns to that. Once you start to get really clear, or you think you get clear about what you want, all the gremlins will come in. I can't do that. I have to hustle hard. Work shouldn't be easy. Women don't typically do those types of jobs. You're going to hear a lot of messages that everybody has told you. And so there's some places in here to do just some of that mindset work so that you can overcome those bullcrap messages that we've all heard growing up from people, teachers, and even our parents. They were doing the best they could, but there's just messages that we hear that we need to overcome so that we can move forward in what's right for us. There's some journaling pages so that you can start to journal about what's emerging for you, just in terms of like what work aligns with your values. What do you want to build in your career? What's the work you love to do? What truly lights you up? So there's places to write in here, and there's some journal prompts in here for you. And there's a place where you can kind of put it all in one spot in terms of, what are your genius themes, your values, who you love to work with. That way you can kind of take a snapshot of it as you're really thinking about building something that feels authentic like you. Because you know what, you can't BS your way into things for too long. Life is always easier when you're living in your full authenticity. The last section is all about climbing the ladder. It is a process that you can take that's called Brave Next Steps. It actually has you kind of, through all of your journaling and discovery, it has you kind of write out some of the things you want to accomplish by this time next year. And then it gives you a way to kind of backstep that and reverse engineer that. Because I think sometimes, I know that when we think about, by this time next year, I want to do this. And when you think about that goal in its entirety, is like super scary. It's huge and it feels super ambiguous. But when you can back it down and just ask yourself, okay, after I break it in half and then half again and then half again, what's the smallest thing I need to do? Like, what's one tiny thing that I need to do today that's just going to move me a little closer to where I want to be? And that's the goal of this exercise. It makes it totally doable and practical. And then there's just a little quarterly planning sheet. I love this. I use this every quarter. So I included my quarterly planning sheet just to help me keep moving forward in the direction that I want to go. Bottom line, somebody is counting on your unique calling. And I was in the grocery store the other day. And in the grocery store, if you follow me on Instagram at Kelly Rae Thompson, that's where I share all the fun stuff. You've already seen it. There is in the checkout aisle a book called The Coloring Book of Cat Farts. Now this is just a regular grocery store, okay? Like your everyday grocery store. In the main checkout aisle, somebody has written and published and is making money off a book. And it was a volume 3, mind you, where it was a coloring book of cats and cats farting. Yes, I'm not lying. It's probably still on my Instagram if you want to go see it. So my point is, if somebody can make money because they loved making a coloring book about cat farts, you can certainly align your purpose and your paycheck, make money, live the way you want to live, doing something that you love as well. So I hope that you find this helpful, whether you're thinking about changing jobs or thinking about even gaining more clarity in the job that you're in so you can make the impact you want to make. Let me know. And if you have any questions and you're watching on replay, just drop them in the comments. And if you find it helpful, share with a friend who's maybe looking for a little more career clarity in her life. So I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you in here next Tuesday.